Good morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is August 15th. This market keeps treading higher. It's pretty nuts. What do we have today? We have some news coming out today. A lot of 13F filings yesterday. Bill Ackman, Warren Buffett, Michael Burry. We'll get into that in a little bit. Like I said, this market's moving up. SPY hit the 50-day moving average on the daily. Just have to see. I mean, it's definitely quite a bounce here, and so far momentum's with bulls, right? You can't really argue that. And we'll get into a bunch of stuff today. So without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile and market profile to find structure in these markets. All right. I also use supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. This all helps me find structure in the markets. It's my edge. Okay. It's my edge. And then once the market opens, I analyze again, and that's what I do. Okay. So every day I do this at 8:10 a.m. Hopefully you can have a cup of coffee or whatever you enjoy to drink and join me because we go over yesterday's movements, the recap. We go over what's happened this morning with news, leaders and laggards. We get over economic calendar. Then we'll go over some daily charts. And then usually around 8:30, called the main event, we go over the NASDAQ and the ES futures. And I do my analysis, and that's where I do long and short scenarios. I do that live with you. I do not do it. I don't prepare. I do it right in front of you. It's my process. So that's what I that's what I do. Okay? So hopefully you can join me. Hopefully you're new. You just join me, okay? And you can subscribe. Set that alert. All right? And you can learn some things, okay? And also, if you enjoy my content, give me a big thumbs up. That would be much appreciated. I'm trying to build this channel. All right? You can also follow me on X at Gonzo719, as well as you can follow me on TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. Okay? So why don't we get right into the futures watch? Let's see what's going on today. Alrighty. Let's see what we have going. Oh, silver. Silver is up 4%. My lord. Crude's up 1.14. Gold, loving it, up 0.92. The VIX is up 0.43. Dow is up 0.35. Nasdaq's up 0.26. ES up 0.22. Russell's up 0.05. 10-year yield won't report till 8:20. The dollar's flat. Bitcoin was down more than that. Now it's only down 0.31. 30-year bonds being sold. That's interesting. So that should have the 10-year yield rise a little bit. Ether's down 1.31. Okay, moving on to the Mag 7 Plus. Let's see what we got going on here. Amazon leading the pack, up 1.58%. Okay. Broadcom's up 0.58. Tesla is up 0.4. Berkshire Hathaway's up 0.37. Boeing's up 0.30. All right, let's look at some laggards. Google's down 0.17. Coinbase down 0.23. Nvidia is actually finally down today. Pre-market down 0.49. Snow reported earnings. Apparently not that good. Down 3.77%. Okay, moving on to top sector stocks. What do we got going here? We have Walmart. Reported banger earnings. I'm a proud owner of Walmart. I'm not going to say that. That makes me ecstatic. Up 7.63%. My lord. Eli Lilly up 0.46. Costco up 0.39. Chevron up 0.37. Cat up 0.25. All right, let's go down to laggard. We got Exxon's down 0.37. Interesting. And Chevron's up 0.37. Very interesting there. Let's look at the swing trades list. Who's the leader there? Ulta Beauty. Why are they up? Well, good old Warren Buffett decided to buy some Ulta. and Ulta's been getting destroyed. That has that stock up 11.63%. Cisco is up 6.95. Nike, Bill Ackman, I believe, showed purchase of Nike, so they're up 4.01%. Target is up 3.89. Dutch Bros up 2.94. I believe they got an upgrade. Hood, I believe, got an upgrade too, up 2.57. Dell, like I said, I wanted to nibble on that in the 90. I think it was down to 89, and that's making me look a little foolish right now, but that's okay. Marvel Semi, Dollar Tree. Wow, Dollar Tree up 1.87. Those stocks, Dollar Tree, Five Below, Dollar General, have not been doing good. Okay, so looks Dollar General. All right, Bristol Myers Squibb there. All right, let's look at laggards. There's not many here. Baba had reported earnings and they missed. They're down 3.37. Las Vegas Sands down 0.96. Bitcoin ETF down 0.33. Not a lot of laggards today. Not a lot of laggards today. Okay. Moving on to the guts, to the sectors. What do we have here? Staples leading the pack, up 0.68. That's Walmart. That's Costco. Okay. Discretionaries up 0.56. That's Amazon. What do we got here? Technology's up 0.21. Financials up 0.19. Energy's up 0.18. Healthcare's up 0.15. There is no laggards today. This market keeps trucking along. Okay. The market keeps trucking along. Let's see. We're going to get into the economic calendar, into the news now. That is not the economic calendar. That is. All right. Let's see what we got going on today. So at 8:30 we have retail sales, export import prices, initial jobless claims, New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, Philly Fed, and retail sales ex autos. So we have that. Then there's a Fed Mausoleum speech at 9:10. 10 a.m. we have business inventories and NHB housing market index. Not sure how much that will move the markets, but that's what's coming in Fed Harker. That's what we have as far as that. Okay. Let's see if we can get these upgrades and downgrades. Actually, we'll go over news first, then we'll get into that. So, Walmart stock rose 6.6 after the retail behemoth reported strong second quarter growth driven by robust e-commerce growth and improved margins. Cisco stock rose 5.9 after the networking equipment giant reported better than expected fourth quarter earnings. Ulta Beauty stock soared 30% after Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway reported a new stake. Nike stock gained 4.3 after Bill Ackman's Pershing Square revealed a position in the sports footwear retailer. All right, John Deere stock rose 2.7% after agricultural equipment manufacturer maintained its annual profit outlook. And then Alibaba fell 3.3 after the Chinese e-commerce company missed expectations. Marathon Digital stock fell 0.2 after the cryptocurrency mining company announced it has purchased 249 million worth of Bitcoin. Wow, interesting. Then other news. Let's see if there is any. We talked about Walmart, John Deere, Alibaba. We talked about it. Let's see. Boeing criminal plea deal should be accepted. U.S. Department of Justice says plea deal struck with Boeing over a criminal charge related to software tied to two fatal 737 MAX crashes should be accepted. The U.S. Justice Department said on Wednesday after some relatives of the 346 people killed in two crashes called for it to be rejected. All right, let's see if there's anything else here that I haven't talked about. Starbucks, I talked about that. New CEO from Chipotle. I think that's it. I think I'm going to go to upgrades and downgrades now. Let's see if this list has been updated. It has. Okay. Let's look at it. Dutch Bros, upgraded. Hood, upgraded. That's why it's getting love. Medtronic, upgraded. Progressive Insurance, upgraded. PNC Financial, upgraded. All right, let's go downgrades. Bluebird, downgraded. And who else here? Kelly Nova, which looks like it's Kellogg's, downgrade it. Las Vegas Sands, downgrade it. Snowflake, downgrade it. Maybe we go to some price target changes here. That doesn't look like a lot of price target changes. All right, I'm going to skip that. We'll skip that. We'll go to the juice. The juice. We got Walmart beating, but now we had Fred Goolsbee say, I'm growing more concerned about unemployment. So he said that yesterday at about 4:42. But that doesn't really matter. We're moving. We're moving. We're moving. All right. I think that's going to wrap up upgrades, downgrades, news, economic calendar. Let's move on to some daily charts. Some daily charts. Okay. Let's talk about it. Look at this friggin' move, huh? Look at that, boy. We're inside last week's range. I'm sorry, we're above last week's range, inside last month's range. Okay. Now, I just want you to show you this. Look at this consolidation here. We're right in the middle of it. I'm going to show you some important levels, okay, in the futures. All right, we hit the 50-day moving average and sold off. We closed right underneath it. All right. Now today, 545.40, we're at 545.40. 545.40 is above the 50-day moving average right now. Now you see there's a trend line here. Okay, that trend line is lining up right above us, about 546. Be very wary about this trend line. It's been touched once. I could see it being touched again. So just be, there's a key level here like I'm going to talk about on futures. Okay, so let's look at the live view right here. Now see, in futures we haven't hit the 50-day moving average. Okay, and we're getting ready to hit the center of this congestion here. Okay, you usually just don't rip across something like this. Just keep that in mind. The 50-day moving average is at 5509. Okay, 5509. That is your SPY and the ES. Okay, let's go over to the Qs. Okay, the Qs, we had a trend line. This is a secondary trend line that has now been broken. Okay, and we can zoom in a little bit. So we are above last week's range, inside the last month's range. Okay, now look to the left. Here's this consolidation. We are right there. Okay, we are right in the middle of that. Now, this usually will stop in, stop price in the right there like a magnet, and it has, right? It's kind of hit the middle of this consolidation, and you got a little bit of a wick. All right, but however, where's the Qs now? 464.25, 464.25. So we're like at the highs. We're at the upper third of the session. We're not gapping up. We're at the upper third of the session. Now remember, Nvidia has some weakness this morning with Snowflake. Okay, that's going to pull the Qs a little lower. Okay, SPY was gapping up. Now let's look at the live look of futures. Okay, here's that consolidation right here. All right, we're holding above the 100-day moving average in futures, above the 20-day simple moving average. 50-day moving average is all the way basic at the top of this consolidation here. Okay, you can see it at 196.37. Okay, so we're not by that yet in the NASDAQ. But this is all bullish right now. You moved up, holding. That is very bullish. Okay, but we're at a key little congestion area here. And like I said, we will talk about it in the main event. All right, we'll talk about it at the main event. All right, now Let's talk about that triple-headed monster now that the 10-year yield is up there. So let's just real quick go to that. Where are we at, 10-year yield? We're up 0.84% today. Well, 30-year bonds are being sold, right? So let's go back to the daily charts. Let's go start that triple-headed monster. Let's go right to that 10-year yield. And you can see it's up a little bit. Okay, we're just like we dropped, the yields dropped, pushed up, dropped again. We have to see what happens with yields. Okay, known as the smart money. It's known as the smart money. Okay, that is the first head of the triple-headed monster. Now let's get to the second head. That's that dollar. Now the dollar is kind of broke this little range here. So let's zoom out a little. It broke this little range, and now we're kind of holding here. Zoom out a little more. There's swing low right here. It's kind of holding support here. Have to see what the dollar does. Okay. You really have to see some large orders hitting the tape. It's only 826. It's not 830. So we don't have the retail sales and jobless claims out yet. All right. So let's go to that third head of that triple-headed monster. That's your VIX. And the VIX, let's just zoom in on this. The VIX is at a 16.29. Still got volatility. Okay, we still got volatility. 16 VIX is a 1% expected move in the S&P 500, plus or minus. Okay, so that's still there. The volume has been lower this week. The volume has been lower. Okay. Now, what else can we talk about? I think we're ready for that main event, market profile, right? I think we're ready for it. Let's go to it. All right, give me a second while I pull that up for you guys. All right, here we are. Here we are, ES. And we got some key levels to talk about today. Okay? Key levels. Very key levels today. Okay? Now, first thing we do, let me get my trusty little marker out. We're going to talk about the structure here. Right? You see this right here? This little bear trap here? That little bear trap right there. Remember what I said yesterday? We're bullish. Oh, somebody loves key levels. I love my ES. By the way, that's my impression of Rosita. I know you don't know her, but that's exactly what she sounds like. So, here's another key level for you today. All right. Mark it down. All right. Mark it down. So, the most traded price of the month has moved a little bit. Remember, these prices are rolling, so they constantly are adjusted. 54.70 is the bull bear line right here. The most traded price of the month has moved right here. Now, there's a lot of high volume nodes here you can see. But I'm just telling you right now, currently, the hot one is 54.70. Now, you can see in the overnight session, where is the low? Right here at 54.70. Okay? You want the market to stay above 54.70. Now, happens to be the most traded price of yesterday as well. Happens to be, oh, look at that. Retail sales just came out and jobless claims, and you just poked your head up. So, market's liking those. Oh, man. I can only think those jobless claims were higher. Let's look at it. We got to go to it. It's really moving higher here. Okay. Let's look at these. All right, so retail sales Consensus was 0.3. It came in at 1. Interesting. So retail sales hotter than expected. Okay. Initial jobless claims. Consensus was 235. Came under. Interesting. And the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index was supposed to be a 7, came in at -7. New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, it was supposed to be a -6, came out at -4.7. So, regardless of all that, the market's liking what it's seeing. Okay? Just broke out to the upside. Now we're gapping up. This market is nuts. Okay? I had a supply zone here, and that is gone. Now, this could be short-lived. You got single prints now. So we have single prints above us. Okay? Single prints above us that can get ripped through it if this continues. All right? I was not expecting that big move from these numbers. Very interesting. Okay, two ways with this. Okay, two ways with this. Okay, and Rosita, you're gonna like this. When we talk about single prints, okay, which is right here, that's poor foundation. That's very thin volume, and price is here. If price cannot sustain value up here, these get taken out. Okay, and now ready, Rosita? Are you there, Rosita? You ready? Here we go. Boom. Elephant holding up by a toothpick. Elephant being held up by a toothpick. There it is. Your boy did it. Your boy did it. All right, so, and that's no joke, folks. All right, it's an elephant obviously can't be supported by a toothpick. Okay, so back to the main event. Now let's talk about yesterday. We opened yesterday was just very tricky market to read. We opened up, technology was down 1% or more off the open. That made us push down. Okay, that made us push down. That made us get off a little froth here, all right, from the overnight. And then managed to push up and close here. Very tricky market yesterday. Very tricky. All right. Now, we are gapping up. This is nuts. Okay. So we're gapping up. This is getting very frothy. Very, 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 very frothy. Momentum is clearly on the bull side. All right. It's pushing up. Now, this is going to get very interesting. Okay. So what are we going to do here? Let me do this. Let me bring this down a little bit. And let's see what some levels we have above us. All right. So I'm getting sidetracked here with the bull. The elephant. I'm all excited about the elephant. All right. So here's our profile right now. All right. Now we're thinning out here, obviously, because we just made a move. So this is what we got here. Here's our value area. That's all value area. Then we have here below value. All right. So this is all value. 70% of the trade is taking place there in the last week. Okay. This market is nuts. It's pushing up. We have single prints here. Okay. Big single prints here. This is from the initial big sell-off. Okay. Now, if I'm going to talk about this again, right? It's very important. These single prints, if met with strong buying, should get cut like a hot knife through butter. And you have two of them. Like I said, it should be cut like a hot knife through butter. Tip is, if this single print section acts as resistance, that is bearish. It should not act as resistance. Okay. Now, let's look at this. Okay, so now we're gapping up, but here's the open, right? That much short to that much long. But guess what? We're going to look at this almost like it is 100% net long. At the top of the range, we're heading into single prints. Okay, you could even see the pocket of volume. So you notice this volume, and then you got a pocket. That's the single prints, right? We're starting to work into them. It's going to be very interesting. Now remember, I'm not even kidding around now. This right here is not good foundation. It's poor structure. What do we call that? Elephant being held up by a toothpick. Elephant being held up by a toothpick. Okay, so that is poor structure. Okay, it's pushing into these single prints now. This market's really, really taken off. Okay, so now you got single prints here going into single prints from the past. So poor foundation above, poor structure from above, and now we have poor structure from below. So that's a big gap. Let's talk about the gap rules now that we're gapping up here. Okay. So here's our gap fill, 54.87. So gap rules really quickly. What can we happen? Gap and go, most bullish. Second, fair to fill the gap, go. Third, fill the gap and go. Fourth, which would be bearish, a little more bearish, is you start pulling back into yesterday's range. That's how you look at a gap. Okay, I never go at gap and goes. Risk to reward is stupid. So that is that. Okay. Now, what else do we have to talk about now? The 50% Fibonacci of this move. 54.95 right there. That's another line in the sand. Right? That's another line in the sand from this overnight session. That could be a place where we come back and lift off. All right, so this is nuts. All right, this is very nuts. All right, so now that we got this gap, and remember, these single prints, if we have strength today, should get cut right through. And if it doesn't, right here, if this market turns weak, this can get flushed very easily. Now it's working its way up there. This is crazy. This is just nuts. Really liking these numbers, I guess. All right. So let's go over levels. I'm taking a little time here. All right. Now, big level, what I said, 54.70. All right, that's a weak low. Why? Because it's the most traded price of yesterday. It's the most traded price of the month. Right there. Okay. That's what it's all about. You need bulls to step up there. Okay. You need bulls to step up there. You do not want to go below that level. Okay, that's your line in the sand. Doesn't matter, even if we come all the way back here and people think, oh my God, we're going to sell off. You need to see that level taken out in order to have any kind of bearish tone to this. Okay, there you go. That's the big level. Obviously, we got gap fill, 54.87, and we got the 50% Fibonacci of the overnight, 54.95. Okay, okay. And we know we got single prints above us. All right. Let's get into some scenarios here. This is going to be fairly simple, okay? Let's go with the ES. Come on. All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to start off with the bull. All right, with the bull. We got 54.70, weak low. That is the bull bear line. That's the line in the sand. I just talked about it, but now it's our scenarios. That is defense. Okay, that is the ultimate defense for the bulls. Next, gap fill, 54.87. Next, 54.96, the 50% Fibonacci of this move. Okay, so these are areas to me that I'm going to be like looking for pullbacks. Okay, remember, these singles, if the market's really strong, should cut right through them. Okay, now for me, I don't do gap and goes. That can go without me. I'm going to look for some kind of push up and down and just see on these levels what you get. You might get that move and clean these single prints up. Okay, same thing here. Come back to gap fill, same thing. I'm going to do the same thing over and over again. Okay, because I'm bullish. I'm bullish right now. So these will be, you want some liquidity here, right? And even if we do something like this, now remember, this is weak structure. That's that elephant, right? How you can held up by a toothpick. You can get cleaned out very easily. Go through this most trader price of the overnight, and this is the real test here. All right, still bullish here. If we do this, hold, we could also rip up. Okay, that could be a little bit of a bear trap. That's really all I'm interested in. Now that's a lot, but these are all the levels you have to be on watch. Okay, now talking about a bearish scenario here. Now you're over this big level. The momentum's on the bull side. Okay, there is obviously always opportunities. Okay, so now we're gapping up. We are very frothy overall, just to see lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. You know, get the point. This is the only time we kind of broke right here a little bit, but still, all these longs are getting paid. They're getting paid again, all the way up here. Okay, so remember, G-Man, what we talk about, new business usually gets taken care of before old business. Okay, this is all new business. Look at a stick. Look at that stick. Let's bring up that elephant again on that stick. Can that toothpick hold up the elephant? Can the toothpick hold up that elephant? I don't know if it can. Okay, so if we talk about the bear, I want to see resistance in these single prints. Okay, so I want to see this gap go. Now look, you have some, this is important to use these. You're getting some little volume here, you're getting a little volume here. Okay, but this is still single print. So what I want to see is a push up. Up. Now we're getting some selling now a little bit. Come through the open, hold, lower high, lower high. This will correct. Boom. It should go all the way to here to gap fill. Gap fill also lines up with the most trader price of the overnight. All right. Now again, in the bullish case, we could lift off from here, but this is the bearish case. If we cut through the most trader price of the overnight, you are going to test the overnight lows, 54.71. 54.70 is the most trader price of the month. Okay. If we do this and hold, boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. We could go down. All right. I didn't even think we'd rip through this demand zone, and we could test these lows at 54.01. There's a little bit of single prints here. There's a little gap here. Boy. If this really rolls, we're going to go back all the way to the most trader price of the week, which is around, what is that price? 53.66. Okay. 53.66. That would be monster. Now, break this apart. Okay. Let's break it apart because, like I said, any of these could just be a nice little short trade. Like this to here, right? Up here to here, right? Monster is underneath this level is wham. We could really just, all right, bulls, you had your time in the sun, right? This is only scenarios though, right? You got to go with the momentum of the bulls. Okay, you got to go with the momentum right now. Okay, so hope everybody understood that. We talked about the elephant being held up by a toothpick, which is not good foundation. It's poor structure. Okay, you wouldn't want to build your house and be the foundation, be hay, right? Now let's look at the NASDAQ, all right, gapping up as well. And I got to show you something that's very important in the NASDAQ and why we might be getting an outsized move. Okay. Make sure you understand these levels I'm going to talk about. See, now we're in single prints as well in the NASDAQ from the past. Okay. Let's look at structure together. Here's our profile. Got value area starting right here, right? And we're pushing up. We're gapping up. I'm not going to go over gap rules because I already did. Now, I want to mention something very important. 190.80. 190.80 is the most traded price of the month, of yesterday, and of the week. So we got ultimate balance again. Now we do have a 24-hour most traded price of the month right here. It still lines up with this. That's why we could possibly get another outsized move. All right, this market just is unbelievable. Okay, this market is unbelievable. And you can see single prints. We're still pushing up. Okay, this is not surprising, being that we have ultimate balance again in the NASDAQ. Now this could get really ugly. Like I'm saying, this is very frothy. But like I said, you got to go momentum. You got to go momentum. Now, what do we have here? We have a weak low. Look at the overnight low resting right on top of the ultimate balance. Okay, resting right on top of ultimate balance. Okay, that's a big, big level. Okay, now we pushed up all the way up here. Now look, our midpoint is 192, 182. That's the 50% Fibonacci of this overnight move. Happens to line up with gap fill. Okay, so this is what it's all about. Again, same plan. All right, so it's going to be very easy to talk about this. Very easy. That weak low, like I said, is 191 right there. Bulls got to step up there. You lose this, you're in trouble. But right now, you're not in trouble at all. Okay? You're pushing. You're pushing higher. Okay? Now, let's talk about scenarios. Let's go right into the bull. And this is going to be same stuff, really repetitive. So, all it's about today, all right, is this gap fill, which lines up with the 50% Fibonacci of the overnight move. So around 192.03 to 192.12, bulls need to defend. That's the first place to defend. Okay, you have single prints here. We're inside single prints, so very interesting here. It's a battle of single prints. If the market's super strong, we're going to cut through all of these singles. If the market is weak and you get resistance in single prints, that is bearish, you're going to take out the single prints from the overnight. Okay. All right. So we know bulls need to step up and defend this big level. We know bulls need to step up and defend this level. That's all it's about, folks. That's all it's about. Let's get rid of this supply zone. Okay. Let's get rid of that supply zone. All right. Now, here we go. Inside single prints. So I want to see a pullback. And this line lines up nice. Clean out these single prints, come back to a gap fill, and you could bounce here and clean the rest of the single prints and possibly go up to this 195 supply zone. Okay. I am not interested in gap and goes. That obviously can work, can go. Okay. That obviously can make its way up there. Okay. Other thing here is a push up, and then we come through, fill the gap, but then we go back into range, go through this most traded price here. Boom. And you test this big level. That's also where you can start doing higher lows, and you can really start making your way back up here. Okay, that's about all I'm interested there. Okay, now talk about the bear scenario. Single prints, which is all this area right here, which we're cutting into now, should not be resistance. Okay, so if we do one of these, get resistance, come through here, work our way down, see the single prints here? Right there. What do we call that? Elephant held up by the toothpick. Should not be supportive. we cut through that, go to gap fill. Might get a bounce here, push through here, the most traded price of the overnight, and test this big level. You could get a bounce here, but if you get a bounce and you cut through it and you hold, this is not good. This is going to put bears on their back foot. Bulls on their back foot. You could take out 189.25, yesterday's lows, and if you take that out, there's a gap here. You can fill that gap and possibly go back here. Okay, that's around 186.23. Remember, this is the bull bear line, and it's very frothy right now. All right, I'm noticing like Amazon is up to 175. That's like close to a gap fill of its gap. So, like I said, Nvidia is up now a percent. We just have to see. Okay, we just have to see. This is a very frothy move on like news that like, all right. Now, remember, anything can happen. Okay, but that's the scenarios for today. Hope everybody enjoyed that. I'm happy using my elephant on a toothpick graphic there. I was able to use that today. It made me happy. So, that's the plan. Okay, that is the plan. Hope everybody enjoyed it. All right. And of course, if it's your first time, and if you have any questions, leave them in the chat. Leave a comment on the channel of YouTube. I'll get back to you. All right. Like I said, I still have a video coming out from the trade I took the other day. So that will be coming out. But we have our plan. All right. We have our plan. This is very poor foundation right now. Okay. So we have to see. We have to see. Okay. So without further ado, hopefully you liked and enjoyed this content. Please subscribe, set an alert. I'm trying to build this channel. Come on. I'd like to get over 200K. That my dreams. 200 subscribers. I think I'm at 172. I'd like to get pushed over to 200. All right. Start getting some real traction here. All right. And as always, if you enjoy my content, please give me a big thumbs up. That means a lot. All right. You could also join me on X at Gonzo719, and you can also follow me on TikTok. What is that? That is Gonzo719 Trader. Okay. Everybody have a great day. Let's be patient. We got our bull bear line levels. Okay. We got our single prints above and below us. So expect volatility. Expect quick, swift moves up and down because there's poor foundation above us and below us. Remember, I just said that. Expect. Don't go, ooh, why did that just fall out of bed like that? Your boy just told you. All right? Your boy just told you. That's why. There's always a reason. That's how I work. That's how my brain works. You know, you guys know there's single prints because I'm telling you, right? But what if you didn't know there were single prints? Right? So, I'll leave you with that. I'll leave you with one thing. Here you go, right there. Boom. Remember that. Hit you with it again. Boom. All right. Remember that pick, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.